Let me just get everyone's mics on. And my guests, Nawal, Amira, and Deniese, and I believe we have Aimee on the phone. So, morning.
Morning.
And how are you all?
Good.
Yeah, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Yeah, so I think that's a relief. My 5-year-old came racing into my room this morning at 6 o'clock saying, "Mum, I've got holidays." And I said, it's Friday. She goes, no, but the weekend, it's holidays. Yeah. So that was her motivation of getting ready this morning. Aww. So I usually have a bit of a moan about the weather, but I'm not going to start the morning off with that doom and gloom, because it's cold and it's dark and it's gloomy and it's not nice out there.
I kind of like the cold.
I think it's nice when you go home and it's nice and cozy.
Yeah. I agree with that, but it's not nice in the morning when you want to really just have that uplift. I kind of miss the sun. I don't mind it being cold and layering up, because it's easier to keep warm than it is to cool down. So I do believe that it's nicer to be cold than it is to be hot. Aimee, have I got you on the telephone this morning? I don't believe she's on at the moment. Hello? No, so I don't believe Aimee has joined just yet. No, she hasn't joined just yet. So listeners, we are reaching out to through the airwaves at Inspire FM 105.1 FM. You can also connect to the show via TuneIn from the Inspire FM webpage. And we are also streaming live on the Facebook page, where you must give the show a thumbs up, and you can also share around today's topic. So any comments or questions that you have for my guest, please do share it there. But I am taking in text and WhatsApp messages on the studio number 07779 481 822. Now we have a jam-packed show, and I feel quite privileged actually, because my seats are full in the studio, and it's not often this happens. Aww. So it's quite nice to have a lot of people joining me on the show this morning. So in today's show, we are going to be discussing the Luton Youth Awards. This is a fantastic initiative for the youth, and I don't know that much about it myself, so I believe Nawal can shed some light on that. But before, ladies, I delve into my questions and put you guys on the hot seat, can I get you to introduce yourself? So maybe we could start from my right to Aimee. Morning.
Me?
Yes.
I'm Amira.
Amira, sorry, yes.
It's okay. So hi everyone, I'm Amira, and I'm a university student at UAL London College of Fashion. So I don't really know what to say about myself. I mean, I love fashion. I study fashion journalism, and hopefully in the future I can get into the fashion world.
Wow. And what is this your first year at university?
Yeah, it's my first year.
First year of university. Thank you, Amira, and welcome to the show. And Nawal.
So hello everyone, my name is Nawal, and I'm currently helping out with the Youth Awards, being someone who's behind the scenes and will be on the scene at the day of the awards. Mm-hmm. I'm currently a student at Luton Sixth Form College, and also being a part of the Student Council. I feel like it's lovely seeing everyone this morning and being able to talk about something that we've been working on to spread awareness in the community and to make sure all the youth know what's happening.
Thank you. And are you a first or second year student at the college?
I'm currently a second year student.
Oh, okay. And Deniese?
So I'm Deniese Dobson. I actually work for Luton Borough Council, many years of community work, but I'm also here as a proud mother of a child that's been on the finalist for the Youth Awards. So I've got two hats on today.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, it's always lovely to come in and share that proud moment as a mum, how it is. What's he been, or he or she been?
It's on the category is sports person.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's boy.
Oh, lovely. Yes. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so I will get you to introduce you that. Now, I'm not sure if Aimee has joined us at the moment. Aimee, are you with us?
I am. Thank you for having me. Apologies for the connection.
No, that's okay. We can't really trust the internet still, in this world that we're living in, where high-tech technology, it still lets us down. But I'm glad you've joined us this morning, and thank you for taking the time out. So, Aimee, I've just got the ladies in the studio to introduce themselves. And I can now see you as well. Hey, morning. How are you this morning?
I'm really good, thank you, and I'm so pleased to be here with my lovely colleagues as well. You know, sort of celebrating these first youth awards. It's just amazing for the town and the young people.
Yes, absolutely. And Aimee, can I just get you to introduce yourself to the listeners this morning?
So my name is Aimee. I'm the CEO of Tokko Youth Hub. We're a youth facility operating in the town centre and welcoming all young people. But I'm also honoured to be a judge on the for the Youth Awards, and also we're named as the charity partner for this year's awards. So a real privilege.
Yes, brilliant. That's lovely. I guess the question to start off with is Luton Youth Awards. And I briefly touched on it earlier part of the show when I said that not many people are aware of what this is. So can you explain a little about what the Luton Youth Awards is and what's the story behind it?
So the Luton Youth Awards were made to help and celebrate the young people within our community. We feel like they're not appreciated enough, or we just wanted another way where they can come step forward and show off their skills, their talents, and be awarded for it. We did give an opportunity, so anyone could have applied for this. They could have been nominated. They could have nominated themselves. So this was very open and wide and literally and free as well. So to be nominated for this award, it was free. There was no cost involved to be able to show off your skills. And we just wanted to give something back to the community. The majority of Luton is going to be made up of young people, especially in the future years as well. We want a town where the young people are actually appreciated. We want to spread awareness and stuff about their skills and how they can help us in the future as well.
Yeah.
The young people are important. They're going to be our future.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is a fantastic way of recognizing them, and it's nice that they can nominate themselves, nominate other people, or be nominated by the family. So how long has the Luton Youth Awards been running for now? What year are we in with this?
So this is actually the first time the Luton Youth Awards have taken place.
Okay.
We have had other awards in the past, such as the Women of Inspiration Awards, but this is the first year, 2025, of when we are going to do the Luton Youth Awards. So this is a first time for us as well.
Yeah.
And all the young people who took part in this, it's a first time for all of us to be able to see, and it was a great experience as well, and it's still continuing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's exciting then to have all those nominees on the categories there. So hopefully this will progress even more. Aimee, can I ask what motivated your organisation to support an award such as the Luton Youth Awards? Oh, I think I may have turned you totally down, Aimee. Sorry.
That's okay. So
there we go. I can hear you. Yeah.
Loud and clear. With children and young people in all capacity. We support through delivering targeted youth activities and universal offer through our drop-in services. But for us, it's about raising the aspirations of young people in Luton. We celebrate our town in all aspects. We've got, lots of awards for organisations and professionals, for businesses and individuals. But what we really, were passionate about was actually showcasing the commitment and the inspirational young people that are present in our town. We see young people from, all areas, all localities, experiencing, some of the toughest times of their lives. And actually, as an organisation, we want to be there, but we want to work in collaboration. And for us, it was really about bringing together young people who are key to designing and bringing the awards to life, but also working, with partners. And I have to thank all the sponsors, because without sort of the sponsorship and their commitment, we wouldn't be able to sort of get this off the ground. So for us, it just means, we can just continue with the work and hope to, continue to raise the aspirations of young people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I guess, Deniese, coming from the Luton Council's perspective, the youth are not really celebrated much, in recent times. Everything that goes wrong, the youth have been pinpointed about how riots have kicked off, how knife crimes on the rise. We're not really celebrating the talent and the expertise they're bringing to the town. So in your view, how does a recognition like this impact the local community?
I think it's really important. I mean, from a Luton Council point of view, we've obviously got the 2040 vision, and part of that is very much around having a child-friendly town. And I think that also means recognising the contribution that our young people make. So therefore, this award, and hopefully it was more than just the first, and you'll continue, is a good way of showing young people it's worth doing well,
Yes.
and you do get recognised. And I think that can only be good.
Yes.
It can only bring good. And I think as a parent, I think it's fantastic to see your child being nominated or other children being nominated. So I think there's sort of an aspiration and an inspiration for parents to keep doing the great work that they do. And I do know the media does kind of, and has always demonised our young people, in the media, one bad kid is like everyone's tarred with the same brush. So I think it's a really positive move, and I'm very excited.
Absolutely. And I look forward to that vision of a child-friendly town where our youth are being celebrated. And Amira, you have been nominated and are actually a finalist in one of the categories. So how did this make you feel?
Oh, I was over the moon. I was so excited because I don't think I've really won any awards ever since like high school or something. So it feels nice to actually be appreciated of what I do and how I involve people and things like that. And it's just really, really exciting. Like, I've been counting down the days to the award. I bought a dress, everything. Like, I'm too excited.
Oh yeah, I guess in your line of work, the first thing that must have come is the dress. What's the outfit that I'm going to be wearing?
Exactly.
So Amira, how has this come to the family? Like, was it a shock to your parents, or were they like, no, this was a given because with the work and efforts that you do, this was a given?
Yeah, well, they were kind of shocked because, like you guys mentioned, there aren't many awards in Luton that are for the youth. So it was like, oh, you're already 18, but you're getting awards for your community. And I'm like, well, yeah, it's a youth award.
Yeah.
But they were really like supportive of it. They were like, yeah, you do all this stuff. You should get something for it and be seen for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's having that recognition. So I guess, Deniese, you've got two hats on today. You've come, you're working with the council, but you also are here as a parent. And how did that make you feel? How when you heard about your son being selected as a finalist?
I'm very proud. Obviously, I'm going to be honest, I nominated him not just because it was my son, but I also wanted to show that you can be great. And his nomination is for sport. He was raised on Marsh Farm. Marsh Farm young people always get a bad deal, in the press. He's a Lee Manor student, discovered basketball when he was 14. So I have to do a big shout out to the community group that originally kind of got him interested, Luton Basketball Club. So for me, it was the nomination for not just him, but just, look, sports can change your life, your journey, and it has. He's now gone down the route of basketball. His A-levels are PE, and he's in a basketball academy. So his journey from kind of humble beginnings is fantastic, and I think that's why I nominated him, not just because he's very good at what he's done, and I'm proud of where he's heading. I think it's a role model for our other Lee Manor students, for our other up-and-coming basketball players or sports players. So I wasn't selfish and just thinking, I want my son to get an award. I thought the opportunity to showcase different routes, because there's quite a lot of categories, isn't there? So I think showing people there are so many different routes to being recognised and great paths you can go on. So that was I'm very proud. I'll be very excited for the awards night, and I should come and ask you for a dress.
You know what?
and fashion tips here.
Yeah, you know what? I got my dress from a charity shop, guys. That's where the
fab.
healing is at.
This is brilliant, you know, and that's what it's all about. And Aimee, as well as being a sponsor of the event, did you say you're the CEO of Tokko? I want to know a little bit more about Tokko, what this is, and also you're a judge, which I think is one of the hardest roles to put up to. You know, it's quite hard to decide how to pick the best. So talk to me a little bit about when you were doing the judging of the competition, of how the challenges that you faced in that.
So it really, the standard, and we've had so many nominations. You can just see the wealth of talent, but not just say talented sports people or creative sports people. It is, as Deniese said, it is a community collaboration. It's, families being supportive. It's enabling opportunities. And these young people, so many of them that have been nominated are recognised for what others, nationally may see as, tiny little ripples. They've done tiny things in the scheme of things. But for us in Luton, and for those individuals and the people that are passionate about supporting young people, it has been huge, and it was so difficult. There were so many nominations, and working for a youth charity, you never want to select one as better than the other, and you're sort of wondering, how do we base it on what merit? And often you sort of, you've got a back picture of these young people's lives and the adversity that they're experiencing, and you think, these young people are still inspirational, they're still role models, and they're still achieving things. And it's not about necessarily someone achieving something. I don't know, maybe someone is academic and they're getting the best results in the school, but actually that's not the same achievement for somebody that's experiencing maybe deprivation or inclusion because they've got a disability. Their struggles are different, and their achievements might seem relatively small, but for those they're huge. And that's what, for me, it was about focusing on the individual and really recognizing what they've done. And it's just a fantastic opportunity for all young people.
Yeah, and I guess that's the important part, because you have to look at the whole picture, not just what you see on paper that they've achieved X, Y, Z. It's where they've come from, what they've achieved, and the backgrounds, and the privileges or not privileges that they've had. But it's a very challenging role. I don't think I would find judging very easy, and I don't think so I guess Tokko is supporting this. Talk to us a little bit about what Tokko is, and why you think it's important for communities like your organizations like yourself to support and sponsor initiatives like this.
I think, again, it's Tokko is we're a youth hub. We want to be a community hub. We're not just a facility with amazing facilities and resources and fully qualified staff. We are the place where young people can come and be themselves. They can feel safe. They can talk to trusted adults. They really can be confident that when they come into our space, we're going to listen. And that's what it's about. And it's about, supporting young people on their journey to adulthood. And like I said, it's not just the successful transition, because it's about a measured transition and how, as an organisation, we can support young people. And if it's a case of actually, they're going to achieve, but in order to achieve, we need to protect their mental health, and we need to offer some support. And that's what Tokko's about. We offer initiatives such as counselling, and it's brief interventions counselling, which steps in at the early signs of poor emotional health needs. It's about equipping young people with the strategies and the skills to manage, that impact that's going to be, seen in their everyday lives. And it's going to impact on the way that they transition. We know so many young people are currently out of work because they are off sick with mental health issues. And for us, it's about working with organisations, with CAMS, with the local authority, to ensure that their environments are safe, but within schools that they've got access to activities that build their resilience, for example. And you know, we were fortunate enough to have a capital refurbishment last year. We've introduced a gym. We've introduced a learning hub where we're delivering skills and employability programs. We've got a catering kitchen. You know, we're able to encourage young people to learn independent skills, but also to access qualifications. So if they're interested in catering, if they're interested in working in a coffee shop, you know, they've got food hygiene certificates.
Wow.
And it's really about, for us, you know, breaking down the barriers to exclusion, being inclusive as an organisation, and recognising how we can support young people.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess, Aimee, you know, you look far younger than myself here, but you know, when in my youth, in my days, we didn't have things like this available as opportunities. And I guess, you know, do you feel that there's been a huge development over the last few years where we are beginning to recognise that actually we need to nip this in the bud quite soon on than actually have them having mental health issues? So try and stem this from an early part of their life rather than waiting for the repercussions of a child that's actually, you know, at the very far end of mental health issues. So do you feel that we've progressed? Are we progressing?
It's really difficult. I think what we are getting better at is recognising that actually we need to recognise and work together, you know, as professionals and with the community to better understand what is impacting young people's mental health. And I think the huge impact at the moment is the social media. You know, social media can be fantastic. It can break down barriers. We can, you know, you can access safe things online, but it's also, you know, there's some real negative content, and it's bringing real, you know, negative experiences to young people. I think for us, what we're saying is, you know, we want to work with organisations and statutory organisations and, you know, health organisations that maybe are used to working at the crisis point, where we're then saying we recognise that, you know, there's harm earlier on, and if we don't build that resilience earlier on, and we can do that together, you know, with families, with parents, with carers, with community organisations, that we can have that real impact in equipping young people with the skills. So I hope we are making progress. You know, the 2040 vision, child-friendly town, really sets out an agenda. But I think the opportunity to work with young people for the Youth Awards is actually showcasing what we can do together when young people are involved in the design and delivery of activities.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, Aimee, I believe you're only joining us for the first half of the show. So we are going to head over to a short break. But before I go, I just wanted to ask, what impact do you see when young people's efforts are highlighted publicly like this? You know, how do you foresee it working in the future for children or the youth?
I think it really gives a platform for young people's voices. And I think it really evaluates and enhances the opportunity for those people that make the decisions. You know, myself as a CEO, you know, ultimately making the decisions about how our organisation, you know, is run, and what's, you know, the ultimate decision and the impact that we want to make. And I think it highlights that opportunity. We've got the Student Council, you know, these voices are elevated. And I think if, as professionals and adults, we're saying that we support and respect how young people think and feel, then actually it's giving that opportunity. I do just want to say before I leave, I am shooting off early because we do have a visit at Tokko Youth Hub. Thank you to London Luton Airport by Princess Anne this afternoon. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I can excuse you then leaving my show early, but that's actually okay. That's an acceptable excuse. I'll let you off for that one, Aimee. But Aimee, just one last final message. Any words of encouragement or advice that you could give to any of the youth out there to follow their passions or making an impact in the community?
I think no matter how you feel, or if you feel it's unachievable, reach for the stars, because it is always achievable. And even if it's going to take small steps, there are always people to support you. There are people like us in our organisation, Deniese in the council. There are always people, and there are always other young people that are going to celebrate your success. And that is what, sort of, for me, it's about promoting, that everybody, you know, should have the opportunity to succeed.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aimee. And I really do appreciate you taking the time out to be with us this morning. And I wish you the very best for the rest of the morning. I hope it all goes well for you. And I look forward to hearing more about how it all went today. But thank you for joining us. And listeners, we are now going over to a short commercial break. Do stay tuned in, because I do still have my lovely guests in the studio. So any questions that you do have for them, please do message in on WhatsApp or text message on 07779 481 822. I still have to look at that number. I've been saying that number every week, but I still have to double check I'm getting the digits right. But for now, go refill your hot brew or whatever it is that you're having with us this morning, and join us after a short commercial break. Assalamu alaikum.
This program will continue after the break. Continue listening to Inspire FM. Inspire FM.
Inspire 105.1 FM.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Atya. I'm from Luton.
My name's Yasmin. I'm from Bedford.
My name is Shadia. I'm from Luton.
My name's Nadia. I'm from St. Albans.
I'm Mispa. I'm from Luton. Please tune in to Inspire FM 105.1 FM.
Greystone Solicitors are committed to protecting your rights and fighting your corner to ensure you get the best possible results. Specialising in immigration matters, employment issues, family matters, personal injury, medical negligence, civil litigation and housing. Need help with your immigration problem? Greystone Solicitors provide free immigration drop-in clinics every Friday. Call Greystone Solicitors today on 01582 343 453 or visit us at 275 Dunstable Road, Luton, LU4 8BS, and begin your journey towards justice today.
वेस्टबोर्न फार्मेसी हफ्ते के 7 दिन सुबह 9 बजे से लेकर रात 9 बजे तक खुली रहती है। हमारी सर्विसेज में शामिल हैं ट्रैवल वैक्सीनेशंस, स्टॉप स्मोकिंग, डायबिटीज चेक, बच्चों की ग़िज़ा और बहुत कुछ। लुटन और डंस्टेबल में फ्री प्रिस्क्रिप्शन, पिकअप और डिलीवरी सर्विसेज भी की जाती है। इसके अलावा आप मेडिसिन के इस्तेमाल के लिए फ्री मशवरा भी ले सकते हैं। वेस्टबोर्न फार्मेसी 198 B Dunstable Road, Luton, corner of Westbourne Road. Telephone 01582 419 432.
A blind boy sat on the steps of a building with a hat by his feet. He held up a sign which said, "I'm blind, please help." There were only a few coins in the hat. A man was walking by. He took a few coins from his pocket and dropped them into the hat. He then took the sign, turned it around, and wrote some words. He put the sign back so that everyone who walked by would see the new words. Soon the hat began to fill up. A lot more people were giving money to the blind boy. That afternoon, the man who had changed the sign came to see how things were. The boy recognized his footsteps and asked, "Were you the one who changed my sign this morning?" "What did you write?" The man said, "I only wrote the truth. I said what you said, but in a different way." What he had written was, "Today is a beautiful day and I cannot see it." Of course, both signs told people that they was blind. But the first sign simply said that they was blind. The second sign told people they were so lucky that they were not blind.
Are you ready to embark on a journey of purpose and impact? The East of England Ambulance Service is recruiting now. Are you seeking training and a new career or looking for a challenge in development? Start your career for life with East. Apply now for roles in frontline emergency operations, control rooms, support services and non-emergency transport. Visit www.eastamb.nhs.uk and click Join the Team. Make a real difference. Join the East of England Ambulance Service and start your career for life.
Are you concerned about someone with special educational needs or disabilities? Do you want to know more about different types of conditions, the help and support available in our communities? Join me, Hafiz Umar, for a brand new show called Sent in the Community where we will be discussing a whole host of SEN matters with expert advice. Tune into our new show, Send in the Community, every Wednesday from 7 till 8 p.m. here on Inspire 105.1 FM.
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 10:30.
Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Mother's Planet. It's Friday, 17th of October, and the time has now just gone 10:30. Earlier in the show, we had lovely Aimee from Tokko join us and talk a bit about sponsoring the Luton Youth Awards and a little bit about what Tokko is and how they are hoping to help the young youth of the community. Now, I allowed Aimee to exit the show a little early because she has actually the young Prince Anne coming into her organisation this morning, so she was allowed to be let off and leave my show. But I do have my lovely guests in the studio, Nawal, Amira and Deniese. Morning, ladies.
Morning.
So they are here. I know they were very silent in the first half of the show, but they are here. And Amira, you are a nominee for one of the categories. So what's the category that you've been nominated for?
It's for the Arts and Culture Award,
Which really celebrates what you do. So talk to me a little bit about what you do for the community, what it is that you're and when it started.
Okay, so when it started was probably when I was like in my first year of college. So I studied media at college, and I loved like doing the magazine side of media. Like everyone else loved doing the filming side, the photography, and I was like, magazines are my thing. So I made a few of those, and for my final project, which was in May this year, I made a fashion magazine, and I got like a lot of people involved in that magazine. So it was kind of funny. So I went to Barnfield, and I remember going to sixth form to watch like a play that they did, and I got like the cast of that play. I was like, do you guys want to model for my magazine? And they were like, modeling, that's crazy. So then I got them all involved in that in terms of modeling, helping out with photography. Shout out to Harvey and Rebecca for helping me out. And they were also happy, and it gave them a lot of confidence, like being in front of the cameras, doing things, helping people out in projects. And some of them even like actually want to do modeling in life now, like in the future because of that. So it was just such an exciting experience, like being around people who are so supportive and who want to do things. Because I think there are so many people that are creative in the community, but they just need to come together to make something. And so we made my magazine. Well, I made my magazine, but they all helped me out. And it's what got me accepted into university. But it was kind of like a crazy one because like I didn't get the grades that I needed, but university still accepted me because they saw that, okay, this magazine's kind of cool. Let's get her in.
Oh,
And
wow.
thank you.
Excellent. That's so good to hear. And it just goes to show, you're obviously passion driven. So how long did the magazine take you to, collaborate and put together?
It took me about 3 months, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I could have done it quicker, but there was just a lot of planning to be done because I had like 15 models, and they were like back to back shooting them and like taking the photos of them and then taking a break. And I just remember sitting in the studio when it was all done, and I was like, oh, I miss it already. Like I want to do this again. I want to do this in life. And I am working on another one right now. So Muse, it's called Muse.
Okay.
And that's where I post everything, like the Instagram page, and hopefully I can make it something big in the future.
Wow. Okay, so at university, as part of your course to do with photography, modeling, magazine making, or what do you study?
Kind of both. So I study fashion journalism and content creation.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a mixture of both the photography side but also the writing side, because I've always been on the media side of things, taking the photos, doing the layouts of the magazine, but never the writing side. So I was like, let me put it all together so I can actually make something one day. And hopefully it can be something one day, because I don't want to say I've inspired people, but I think that whole experience kind of helped people realize what they can do. And I want to continue like helping people realize you can do this. You can put yourselves out there.
Being part of someone's journey.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to excuse my throat. I have a terrible dry throat. Deniese, earlier you mentioned the 2040 project.
Yeah.
And we all looked at each other and thought 2040, this seems like such a long way away.
Yeah.
You know, as much as the vision seems really nice, you know, a child-friendly town, accepting the youth, celebrating their talents and expertise in the town.
The 2040 vision is bigger than that. That's just one small element of the 2040 vision, which is about people not being in poverty in 2040. So it covers everything from a child-friendly town, good skills, good employment, a living wage, good housing. So the vision is really broad to look at how Luton in 2040, where people aren't kind of in the deprivation that we see, and that is health inequalities, the whole piece. So it's more than just, I mean, there is an element around a big kind of vision around a child-friendly town. But it was interesting, we had that conversation in the break when you said that, what did you say, what your own words in the break? You said,
I said something like 2040 sounds so far away.
So far away, bit crazy, and
Yeah,
lots
it's
of
crazy.
young people think that.
Yeah.
So my explanation to you was that although it sounds so far away, actually we are on that journey now. So a 1-year-old, somebody who was born this year or is one this year, will be our school leaver in 2040. So that shortens what that looks like. 2040 sounds far away, but we are in living that 2040. So actually that 2040 vision starts with our 1-year-old. What do we want that next 15 years of that child's life? What opportunities do we want? We want good school, good education, safe place to think, to play, good quality services. Actually, because when that child, that 1-year-old leaves school, we want them out there, resilient, good mental health, knowing where they're heading. So it's not actually as far away as it actually sounds when you say the word 2040.
Yeah.
And it's also not just about young people. So our 50-year-olds now are going to be our pensioners. What do we want for them?
Yeah. Are any youth people involved in the 2040 vision? Like people my age, are they involved with the 2040 vision?
So it's a big vision with lots of elements and different parts of it. So there's businesses looking at investment. You've got the whole child-friendly sort of quarter, and that I know that young people are involved in that in terms of the Youth Council. Different elements, the communities are involved. I think we need to get the word out more to our communities so they understand where that vision's going. I don't run the 20 vision. I don't. We're all part of it, not just the council. It's the community, our voluntary sector, places like Inspire. So it's a big journey, but it's coming fast. 15 years time.
Yeah, I know.
2040.
Actually, we think about it. 15 years doesn't actually sound. I know to the youth it does, but honestly, how far this week has gone, I can't believe how fast the months are going. We're nearly saying goodbye to October. So
crazy.
Yeah, 15 years is crazy. It's not that long at all. Now, coming back to the Youth Awards, Nawal. You are not only just a judge, but you are one of the organisers around this, and you are one that's taken the initiative to recognise a youth and being a youth yourself as well. So, you're celebrating not just, I think that's excellent that, you've taken that initiative to say that actually, we're all doing well. I think the hardest part of this initiative is deciding the category. So talk to me about how that was decided. How did you come about saying, because it's hard to fish out certain categories and then find those people in the town. So, how did you decide the categories?
So there were 15 categories in total. The way we actually decided what they were going to be were we actually looked at what do the people in Luton actually do. So the youth, like for example, one of the categories was Sports Person of the Year. Just as we have Deniese here, who's come to represent her son, who's been chosen for this award. There's lots of young people in Luton who do sports. And there's not only one sport as well. There's like cricket, there's football, there's basketball, there's lots of sports. And Luton, like majority of the youth here, they're actually into that things. Like another award was Student of the Year. Majority of Luton are filled with youth. So all of us, a majority of us, even like we have
Amira.
Amira here, she's a student herself. So we look at what do the majority of people in Luton actually do, what they're a part of, or what they're interested in. And that's how we were able to decide, okay, we want to make awards and we want to give them to people who are actually interested in this type of thing. We didn't want to make a category where there would only be a couple of people that would who are actually a part of it. We wanted something where lots of people could actually get nominated and lots of people who can actually get involved in it. So even as me, like a young person, even I'm into sports. I've been playing cricket for many years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 8+ years. And even I found lots of opportunities through this. And I feel like having awards to celebrate this is really important, because when I was growing up in Luton, I didn't think the youth was recognised that much until I became older. And now how we have lots of projects, and even the Youth Award being one of the projects being run in our town. I think it's really important that the youth get recognised, because if we look at it realistically, the youth is our future. And it's not just a saying. When we get older, we are going to be the leaders of the town. They're going to be people who join the council. They're going to be people who join parliament. And those people are going to lead. And we want to make sure the youth is brought up in a respectful way where they can actually be proud of who they are. And as like we have like the 2040 project and stuff, we want the town to be safe. We want the upbringing to be so good that when the youth do grow up and do have money and do have the rights to move out, we want them to think about it and be like, I really love Luton, or I love the town. That I
be
was
proud of who they are. And
We
I
wanna
guess
keep the
having
talent in
initiatives,
the town.
and I guess having keeping the talent in the town, and keep them here, not let them go off somewhere else and shine. But I guess having initiatives like the Youth Awards and recognizing that. I mean, obviously these categories are not set in stone, and I know that in the upcoming years you're probably going to have more categories, more different nominations for different things. But it's a way of motivating the youth as well, that they've actually got something to look forward to. Deniese, I know you've worked with the youth, so you've got a lot of experience with the youth. So how do you think this will change the value that the youth feel that they have in the community? Do you feel that this would motivate them to say, actually, next year I'm going to try and be Sportsman of the Year, or I'm going to try and be Arts and Culture of the Year? Do you think it would change?
I do. I think there are opportunities outside of the awards that people get recognised. I think sport is a big one, because they might get medals and stuff like that. I see the Youth Awards being that kind of top overarching, wow, look at what goes on, look at what's happening, and although there's only 15 categories, there's probably 20,000 that could fit into that. So I think it puts a spotlight on that there is some seriously positive young people doing amazing stuff. And the nature of awards is you do have to whittle it down, as Aimee said, it's really hard. But it shines a spotlight on that there are more young people doing lots more positive stuff than there are that few doing the negative. So I think just it's the spotlight. So that helps then sports companies say, come and join us, we're doing well. Go to college, look what you can do. And I think you got carers and stuff like that. There is recognition. So I think it puts a bigger spotlight on what young people are already doing and have been doing for many years, but they just seem to be quietly over there doing it. And I think it's the spotlight. And I think for those that have lack of confidence, joining a group or being nominated, I think that's very special to them as individuals. And it's that starting out saying, I was actually recognised for something positive I've done. So I think it does. there's lots of good stuff going on, but I think it's the spotlight that will make things change.
And I guess it's about breaking the barriers. Now, you know, Amira, coming from a South Asian community, you know, looking at fashion, I mean, when I was growing up, I mean, I love my parents, but it instilled into us that we had to be professionals. And when we grow up, we had to have a career that was going to, you know, we needed to go to university that was going to guarantee us a job. It wasn't going to university and doing something airy fairy and then coming out and saying, I'm not sure what I want to do in my life. You know, it's very focused, but that's because my parents came from a generation of where they were very hardworking. So my parents were very driven and wanted us to be successful. So I can't fault them on that, because I turned out to be all right. I don't think I'm that bad, but it was a very different pressure. And, you know, while my generation is not trying to put that pressure on the youth today, I mean, I'm a mum and I have a daughter that's 18 and a son that's 16, you know, and I'm not trying to put pressure on them of having directive careers, but there is that breaking that barrier. So, you know, for yourself, you know, you went with what you actually enjoyed. So how was that, and how has that come across in the community or your family members?
Well, at first, my dad was a bit like, you're doing fashion? Like, he was really confused at first, but he was really supportive of it. And that's what I'm forever thankful about. And I think it's because I'm the youngest of my family. So they kind of had that with my older sisters, like, you know, do the important stuff. But I think getting this award...
They gave up by the time it came to you. No.
Yeah, no, my sisters did somewhat do something creative as well. But I think with this award, it kind of shows to my parents and my family that I'm doing good in what I do. I did that in quotation marks, because it's like, you know, she's being recognized for what she does. Maybe she will succeed in this. And like you said earlier, with the whole spotlight, like this being a Luton Youth Award, like that's such a big thing, because everyone's always going out of Luton to do things, especially with the fashion industry. It's like, go to London, go to Paris, whatever. It's like, let's stay here. Let's be recognized for it here. So it's just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and it's absolutely, and you know, there is a lot of fashion in Luton that I think goes unnoticed. So, you know, Amira, you're going to put the spotlight on that, aren't you? You're going to, absolutely. And I think, you know, it's breaking those barriers. It's giving the youth that opportunity to normalize and say that actually you can follow your dream and still be recognized for it, because, you know, we don't have to grow up in this stereotypical role of you have to just do X, Y, and Z to get you here. So Nawal, a judge, you are a judge. How can you ensure that it's fair and inclusive? So how, you know, Aimee shed some light on how difficult it was from her perspective. You talk to me about your perspective. You know, how do you make sure that you are being inclusive and fair?
So each category had lots of nominations. So there was literally a minimum would have been like at least 11 or 12. So, and there's like big paragraphs as well. The people that got nominated, the people who wrote the nominations, we can't just skip over anything. We have to read it thoroughly. We make sure that what they're saying matches the category that they've been nominated for. So we had to make sure it was fair. And the most important part was that they were telling the truth, because it's really important that you are truthful about your work and how you present your work. And that way we can make it fair and give the awards to the correct people as well. Each nomination we read over. And so I'm not sure how the other judges did it, but this is how I did it. I made sure that I did not miss anything. I read through the nominations. I made sure that, okay, this person's nomination matches the category that they've been nominated for. Then we had to obviously give them a vote and stuff. And we had to make it fair as well. We had to make sure, like, and the system was really fair, because we did not know the names of the people who were nominated. So while we were reading the nominations, we weren't reading, oh, it was this person's or it was this person's. We didn't know who wrote them. It was just the paragraph that they had submitted as the nomination, and that's what we read, and that's what we voted on. So it was really fair and stuff. And as someone who's a part of the community and within the community, we know who's done something, and most people are actually recognized for their work. So there was parts where we were like, oh yeah, I have heard that someone has done this in the community. Oh, that's really interesting. Someone at a young age has done so much. And so the voting was really fair, and it was really interesting as well, seeing how many young people are actually interested in this. Because if we look at it more broadly, we overlook the youth. I feel like the youth is something that is really important and should actually be treasured, because they make up most of our community, and them actually stepping forward and nominating either themselves or someone nominating them is a big thing. And I think they should be really proud of that. Even the people, let's say if you knew that you nominated yourself or someone nominated you and you don't see yourself as a finalist, you should still be so proud that you were able to show off your talent, and that someone like the judges were able to read it as well, and you were appreciated. Everyone who was nominated was really appreciated. And we found it we found it really interesting how lots of young people actually came forward to show off their talents, and we really enjoyed and we really loved that. And I think it was really important.
So the event's actually taking place next week. It's on the Friday. Have you booked your tickets?
I have.
And how do you feel about coming along and celebrating your son's, possibility of winning?
I'm really excited, not just as a mum, but just as a community member. I have a long history of having years worked with young people. So it's always been my passion. I don't do young people work anymore. But that I never stop getting surprised and shocked and amazed all these years later I'm a very teary person, so I'll be like in the back listening to the stories,
have to have a tissue
and I'll have
box
a
ready.
tissue. I've also been asked to present a little bit of a game on the night, so I'm going to be on stage for a few minutes. For my son,
how has this changed for him? Like, do you think recognizing his talents as a sportsman has this changed his view? What was his reaction?
He was just shocked. He said wow, and then I sent him the little social media that say that he'd got to the finalist, and he was like, he's a very humble young lad, but I think it's something really nice for him, but also his category and the reason for nominating him, it's a big shout out to his coach who discovered him at 14. His coach was fantastic, and in fact I put his name in the nomination. That actually finding basketball changed the whole course of my son's life.
Wow.
He found basketball at 14 and decided that basketball was the route he was going to go. His GCSEs reflected that, and then he applied for some elite basketball academies to do his A-levels. He got offered 3 places across the UK.
Wow.
And is currently studying his A-levels in Barking Basketball Academy. So 14 completely I thought he was going to be a kid, go sixth form college at Badgers Hill, that's kind of, and it's completely gone full like the other way. So the power of doing something that you love can change you. Your magazine that you kind of inspired you has changed you. It's just a moment in time. So I think I'm excited to hear all of those nominee stories. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Now we've got about 4 minutes left of the show, so I won't keep you guys too long now. How do you think, Nawal, the Luton Youth Awards is going to evolve over the next 5 years?
So since this is the first time that we are doing it, I'm 100% sure that it's going to be positive, and it's actually going to evolve, and it's going to happen every year. Just like the Women of Inspiration Awards that now happens every year, and it's a way for the community to get together and show off their skills. The youth after this, so this was the first time, so I do think there were some people who were unsure about this or whether they should nominate themselves. But after they see, oh, there's actually lots of young people who attended the awards, and there's going to be lots of people there. So I feel like it's going to be a way for people to actually go forward, and for us to actually create the awards again next year, and just to continue this, because
and it will just keep evolving. The categories will keep evolving. Yes,
because celebration shouldn't be minimized. It shouldn't be gate kept. It should be for everyone, and everyone should be actually applauded. So
I mean, even the age categories, it's like 13 to 19. So you know, even as young as 13, which is amazing, because you know, I'm going to be a typical mum here, but I've got a daughter that's 12, and she's just absolutely gifted and talented when it comes to drawing. She's doing some history work at the moment on the hat factory, and I said to her, why don't you add a hat in? And I thought she'd just draw a hat, but she actually drew an amazing hat. And I thought she's obviously not got my genes, because she can draw really well. But you know, so it's lovely to see that. And you know, you as a parent, I can already see, right, okay, there's going to be a category for that next year, because she's very talented when it comes to drawing.
Nominate her.
I will definitely.
Can I just come in on the, you know, the future of the Youth Awards? I think first one is great. Next year, second one, national press.
Oh,
you know,
I think it needs more recognition. Yes,
we are starting. It's in Luton, but actually, we want everyone else to know that we've got this and what it's produced. So national press next year.
So we will work
you
on
could
that.
do an article, journalism.
100%.
There you go. We
Right,
can put all the
that's
talent
funny.
together. Right, ladies, we've got about 40 seconds. So just a line, a word of encouragement to any of the youth out there that's thinking about maybe next year applying. What would you say?
I think before you even think about applying, believe in yourself, do what's right for you, keep going, you'll get there. And the cherry on the top's the award. But you don't need an award to be inspirational and
I
be
love
fantastic.
that. That's beautiful. Just keep doing what you love, honestly, and just put yourself out there.
And don't be afraid to nominate yourself. Do not do anything you will regret, because time will only go forward. It won't go back. And remember, strength doesn't come from your muscle. It comes from your determination.
Thank you. Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, ladies. And I wish everyone a Friday blessings.
Coming up next, Basmin